Hey there,
Okay.
Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm live. I got Ernestine Holloway in the house, and she's got quite the story to share with us. Ernestine is candidate for representative of the 82nd District of Connecticut. Let me bring this fabulous lady right on. Let's see. Hey, Ernestine, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Jen?
Good. So I went to go message you this morning because we had planned on going live this morning, and I go to send you a message and there's no Ernestine. And I'm like, what's going on? Where did Ernestine go? What happened?
Well, well, Facebook decided that evidently somebody had a complaint or they didn't like what I was saying, so they kicked me out. So nobody can't get me. And if you go to my political page, it's still up, but the main page is taken down. So
So
the
they
main page is how I sign in.
they took down your page. Like there was no the you it was like you weren't there. It gave me a message that there was something wrong with this page. So Facebook blocked you out of your own page, of
Yes.
your own content, of your own photographs, all that.
Yes.
So what so, did they send you a notice? What happened? Like did
They said that I needed to verify myself, and I wrote them back and I said, I just sent you my ID because in order to run political ads, you have to verify who you are so they can say that you are running.
okay.
They've done all that. And I think they got upset because when they slowed down my page before and they blocked me, I called the Better Business Bureau and the BBB. And so when you call the BBB, I take it nobody likes to hear from them. So I'm smiling, but that's what happened. They blocked me.
They blocked you out of your own page. So,
On account,
wow, you
even though I
can't even
verified who I
access
was.
your campaign page right now. You're just totally blocked out. Facebook just boom did that. They're saying you got to send them your stuff. You already sent it to them, and they cut you
Yes,
off.
yes, because when you send you this stuff, they give you a code, and when they give you the code, that's how you get in. So I've been verified. I've ran political ads through Facebook when we had Unity Day, so they know who I am. Unity Day, the last one was in August.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I verified myself in June. They say they verify every 2 years. It hasn't been 2 years. It hasn't even been 6 months.
Oh my gosh. So what is
So
their? So what is their? What are they saying? You just got to send this back in. They're not.
I called the Better Business Bureau and I talked to some people, and it's about time that we sit down as constitutionalists and just do Facebook.
I agree with you. I think
We've let them get away with this for so long. This is what makes me angry with all the parties.
yeah.
Facebook is sanctioning Republicans and independents and constitutionalists. But we can't sit down together to say, hey, they're violating us. What are we going to do about
Yeah.
it? There's no I in team. This is something that we're going to have to work together. And it doesn't cost a lot of money like everybody thinks. All we got to do is find somebody that has that lawyer skill, I like to say, and knows how to write it up. And guess what? We can file the paperwork for $25 and go before a judge.
We need
And
to
then
do
once
that.
we hear it, and once they hear it, we can say, well, we want an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not working due to COVID, so I can get a fee waiver. So why can't we get together and do this?
I love this.
I tell people, I was like, listen, COVID made us all poor, and that was the key to it. It wanted us to use all our savings, so we didn't have no money, so we have to depend on the government. But so because our parties are so separated, and I tell people, um, as Republicans, we have been we're the only group that has split so many times. Look, we're Republicans, we're Republican conservatives, we're emancipation, libertarians, um, we the people, There's another one that's out now. My daughter says she don't like nobody. She a Republican. She gonna make her own group. So that's gonna be 7 of them. So what are we doing that we can't come together on one accord? And I always say that we left our God. When I see the older Republicans and they have dinner and you stand up and say that pledge, but guess what they always say? They always say grace. They always invite God in. Not the new moderate Republicans we got now. God ain't in the picture. We forgot all about him. We all about tech. We all about computers. We all about money. And I tell them, what does the scripture say? For the love of money is the root of all evil. So what is our party about? Money. And I've been sanctioned by the Meriden RTC.
Oh my gosh, you got set. Well, first of all, congratulations on being endorsed by the Independent Party. That's great. So
Right.
Tell me how, and I hate to say this, but we got to speak truth, right? So I'm
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
I'm really disappointed what's going on with the Republican Party right now.
Well, so let me explain it to you. The Democrat Party and the Working Family Party works together. Usually the Independent Party and the Republican Party works together. But we took it for granted that the Independent Party would always carry us. Guess what? They are a party. They get to decide who goes on their line. So what happened was, what we always do, we tell all the Republican candidates, get the paperwork, reach out to them and collect the signatures. Well, because of what happened to me was, when it came time for me to get delegates and go online because we didn't meet in person, I couldn't get in. I tried my desktop, my laptop, and a telephone. And what I found out was we only had one code. So when you have one code and 3 people trying to sign in, ain't nobody getting in. So, and then when I went to call State Central, Rebecca or J.R. Romano to see what we need to do to get in, they didn't have an emergency backup plan. So it wasn't only just me. It was a whole lot of other candidates that couldn't call in. So they were aware of the problems before we came and had our delegates thing. So nobody fixed it. So then I went and I wrote Rebecca, because once you write the state GOP, they have 15 days to get back to you. Mm-hmm. They never got back to me.
Oh.
Matter of fact, to this day, they haven't got back to me. I went to see them. They didn't, in August, I went to see them. Well, excuse me, not August, right before the primary, I went to go see them. So they still didn't contact me. So what I found out was the Meriden RTC, like other RTCs, cheated. When you have a primary, you can't endorse anybody. The executive board is not supposed to send out any flyers endorsing any candidates. The RTC together as a whole is not supposed to raise money for anybody. Well, I got the emails saying that they did it. And then he sent out a flyer saying that Meriden endorsed him. So I didn't have a chance. See, here I'm doing things the correct way, even though they pissed off because I'm having a primary. But it's my American right to decide whether I want to run or not. I have a problem when 40 people come together and decide for 66,000 people who's going to run.
Yeah.
What Meriden got 66,000 people. So out of the 66,000 people, I want to say about maybe 15 to 19,000 are Republicans. So out of 19,000 people, 40 people get to decide who's going to run.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And so I filed a complaint.
Good for you.
Against them. I went to see J.R. Romano, and one thing I'm going to say about a state GOP, this is one time he went to bat. He said, no, they can't do that. That's actually illegal.
Oh, that's good.
But even though they broke party rules, there's not much you can do. You just have to suck it up. So, but I'm going to back it up a little bit, because when I ran for mayor last year, inside Meriden RTC, they got a hit squad. It's about 9 of them. If they don't like you, they get together and they slander and murmur your name. They lied and said I was arrested. They lied and said that I stole money from the organization, that most of the money that goes to feed and people and donate to kids come out of my pocket. So the 5 to 7 years we've been running it, I want to say the $15,000 they took to run it came out of my pocket. Only 3,000 of it was donated, and that came from the Carabetta family, David Lowe's and his private organization, and then Walmart bought the popcorn machine and the snow cone machine for me because it brought my cost down, and they allowed me to buy from their stores at price match. By the way, we're the reasons why there's no price match left. That we had tankers and stuff. That's how good we were. So they went and told 30,000 people in a group called Meriden Talks that has split 3 times. Told 30,000 people not to sign my papers to get on the ballot.
Wow.
And what people need to know, though, although I'm a Republican, the Republicans never officially endorsed me in any race that I ran.
And you've run
That's what everybody knows.
You've run quite a few races. You've done this a few times now.
Yeah, I ran for mayor, and I was the petitioning candidate. When I ran for state rep, they was like, the Republicans endorsed you. I was like, that's not what happened. They didn't have anybody. And Mark Minich came to me one day. We were in our meeting and said, we don't have a person to run. I didn't even know that I lived in the district. I just said yes. Mm-hmm. And I stopped doing that after that. I said yes. And then 3 people from Middlefield voted me in, plus him. And only one other person showed up from Meriden. So I wasn't officially, went before the RTC. Matter of fact, I wasn't even a member. So I want to show people that you can run. It's a bit hard of a road, but you can do it. You don't have to be part of the clique. See, I'm repping Holloway. See, outside of this, I'm supposed to have integrity. I'm supposed to work for God. I can't go along with all the stuff that they're doing. Yeah. I can't tell you the names that they called me, the racist names. They got a new president now, called my house. I cried so hard one day at the things that he was saying to me. My daughter snatched the phone and told him, do me a favor, don't ever call my house again.
Wow.
My baby girl, she said, because if you do, I'm going to call my sisters and brothers. And so when I went to the meeting, they sanctioned me. Now, here's what everybody didn't know. I didn't know that you couldn't pay your family members to work for your campaign. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find a treasurer. Nobody wanted the job. They hated the SEEC. So she said she was willing to do it. And then guess what? When I paid her, I asked them, and then I paid her. It took them about a month and a half to get back to me, but it was too late. I paid her. The girl worked from January up until July, until she started going back in the hospital. Why shouldn't we pay her?
Exactly.
A workman is working hard. Well, they said no, I couldn't pay her, and it was a Republican from the Meriden RTC, Joseph Villano, part of the hit squad. Remember I told you it's 9 of them. He went and he filed a complaint.
Oh, wow.
So they slapped me on the hand because guess what? I did it. Ain't no need of me saying I didn't do it, because when you look at all the expenditures, you're going to see that I did it.
Yeah.
So then here's the kicker. Now let's talk election. Last year when I had Bob Beaumont and a couple of people from your group came and they volunteered to collect signatures. The Republican register that's part of Meriden RTC told them they could not collect signatures from me because they didn't live in Meriden, which is not true, because if you're 18 years and older and you're a Republican and you live in Connecticut, you can collect names. She sent them all home. What? So I didn't have any help. Yes, she sent them home. And then Joseph Villano threatened me, called up my treasurer. Her name is Beth. They called her up and asked her why was she helping me, and she should not help me. And then Matt O'Brien, who I love from Coventry, became my treasurer. So when he became my treasurer, guess what? The people from Meriden Talks went after him.
Oh, wow.
They were emailing him all kind of stuff. And then I finally got up and I said at the uh 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 Father, in the name of Jesus, at the meeting out two, you meet every 2 weeks. So when we had our meetings down at City Hall, I stood up at the counter and said that Joseph Alano is threatening me. The city clerk called him and said, you cannot tell her she can't run. You can't threaten her if she does run, because that's interfering with the election and you're violating her civil rights. By then, the damage was already done. So I filed the report at SEEC. They took my case. It's still an ongoing case. And then also, they said, a couple of people said to me that J.R. Romano told them, why are you helping her? She can't win. And I said, well, that makes two of us, because he ain't win nothing either.
You know,
it is what it is.
The party, oh gosh, it's so convoluted and problematic. I'm so sorry to hear that you're having all these problems, because you in Hartford would be good for Connecticut. And what I appreciate about you is that you'll speak the truth. You're not afraid to say it, and you're going to work hard, and you're going to fight, and you're going to be honest, and you're going to, represent the people. And that's what we need elected officials to do.
Well, here's the problem with the people, because I'm still running an election, and guess what? We can't get door knockers. We can't get people to volunteer, but you want to flip the town. I'm still raising money through the independent party. They have to raise the money for me, because now it's a whole nother line. It's a whole nother start all over again. I need the help. I can't do it all by myself.
Yeah.
And especially now that my daughter goes back and forth in the hospital, I have to split my time, and I don't mind. I'm not going to give up. But the American people in Connecticut have to say, you know what? I like that candidate. I like him. I like her. And help the people, because Matt Ritter is running. You got Griffin, he's still running. You got a lot of people that need help knocking on doors. So where are the American people? And this is what the Republican Party is pissed off at me about. Let's go to the election. When you collect signatures to get on the independent line, the Republicans in Connecticut, the Democrats, all of them collect signatures to either get on the independent line or the working families. I'm not a communist, so I'm not getting on working families. So I petitioned during COVID, because mind you, now I got a primary. So what I did was, when I went out and I collected names for the primary, I collected the names for the independent party.
Nice.
So in 7 days, I had 148 names on one and 168 on the other, something like that. So that qualified me. So because it qualified me, it put me on the line. Now, there's 82 Republicans that are running on the independent line. They sanctioned me because I lost the primary, but that left me as the independent candidate because I petitioned to get on their line. They voted, I won, and then Mike Skelps didn't even turn in the signatures. So if you wanted him to have the line, why didn't he turn in the signatures? Why didn't he do what I did? He didn't. So because he didn't, and I was the only person that wanted the line, guess what? I won.
And you won. And that's right. That's the way it works.
And because I'm still running on that line because they wanted me to drop it. And this is where integrity comes in. Oh my God. When you lose the primary, they want you to drop the independent line. But I gave them my word. I petitioned. I did the work to get on their line. So you're going to sanction me for what 81 other Republicans are doing. The only difference is I didn't win the primary. So you want me to drop out, then that leaves that line open and they don't have a candidate. That's not integrity.
No, and you absolutely should still keep going out strong like you're gonna, because that's like, you know what it is? It's like they don't, you get these people, they form a clique.
Yes, and see, the Republican Party is not a party, it's a social club. So if you in with the click, then you're down. If you're not down with that, then you're not in. You're not in it. And I plan to have a press conference about it because guess what? How do you break party rules? How do you threaten a candidate? And then another thing is you need to know is when I ran for state rep 2 years ago, they gave the state rep $750, and the Senate candidate got 1,000 and something. And I don't know how much they gave the person that was running for the other thing that they had. And so they gave them $750. They didn't give me a penny. So when the RTC says in their sanction that they have backed me, but guess what? They have not backed me for anything. It's the grace of God and the people that I'm actually on the ballot. Then they pissed me off when I ran for mayor because when you're running for local politics, you can run in 3 slots. A lot of people don't know that. You just got to get the signatures. So I ran for city council at large and I ran for mayor. So not only the mayor had to debate me, the people from the city council at large. And you know what was funny? The Republican register downtown didn't know that. So the Democrat register said, stop pissing her off. This is why. She said, cuz she's going to go out and collect a week worth of signatures and join another line. She can't do that. So she looked at me. She said, Reverend,
Oh no, you froze up for a second, Ernestine. Are you there? Did I lose you? Oh, hold on a second, guys. I lost her. She's coming right back. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. So I lost Ernestine for a minute. I'm going to get her right back. So just hold on a second while I get this lady back. This fine lady back. Hold on a second. Okay, she's connecting. Sorry for that glitch. Connecting. Something's wrong with the internet and I lost her. Let's see. I'm going to try. It's saying it's connecting and it's not connecting. Hold on a second, guys. Hoping I get her back. Oops. I'm looking at it. I'm having a little difficulty here. Hold on. Let me try one more time. Okay. Let's see if I get her now. There's some crazy stuff she's going through to run. You know, it's... Politics is no easy game. Uh-oh, something's going on. So there must be some kind of connection thing going. I'll try one more time and see if I get her. Okay, I'm having an internet glitch, so I'm going to end this live, and I'm going to come back up when I figure out what's going on. Let me see. I'll do it one more time, because what the heck. Let's see if I can get her now. If not, then I'm going to close out this live, and maybe we'll start it up again and see what happened. Am I still broadcasting? I am still broadcasting. Not able to get Ernestine. But I'll talk for a few minutes, and then I'll try again. I just want to say, Ernestine Holloway is running for representative in the 82nd district. So she was totally cut out of her Facebook account. So you cannot reach Ernestine on her personal page. Her representative page, Ernestine for Make Way for Holloway. I'm sorry, Ernestine Holloway for 2020 is still available, but she can't access the page. So she's totally kicked out of Facebook. And she's having, you know, a lot of interesting things happening with the coming up election. And she is going to be on the line as an independent candidate, which is a very interesting story. So let me see if I can get her again. Let me try, because I hate to just shut this down. Let's see if I get her. This is more promising that it's ringing. Hold on a second. Let's see. Nope. Oh, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Oh, there you are. So, oh, that's awesome. I'm glad we didn't have to, I was almost like, oh no, we're going to have to cut off the live. I hate to do that when we've already started. So, I was just telling the audience when I was trying to get you back, you know, just re-upping them on what happened, how you got, you know, you're locked out of your account on Facebook. You're running for the 82nd district. You're still on the ticket on the independent line. God bless you, Ernestine Holloway, because you are a real fighter. And that's just what Hartford needs, a breath of fresh air to shake it up on at the Capitol. This is what we need. And they're afraid of that because you're not like in this cliquey club. And I think that's fantastic. I love it. That's what the people of Connecticut need, because it really does take that kind of situation. That's what the people need.
Well, what I will say is this: I need the help. Um, I need the finances. We do have, sheets that you can sign. I can't collect money as for Ernestine per se, but you can donate to the independent party. And we're going to put that up sometime before Monday so people can donate, so they can help me.
Yeah.
We can have something in my yard. I'm getting ready because I haven't been home and everything looks atrocious between running a campaign, my daughter going in and out of the hospital, being bullied. That's how I feel. I feel like they're bullying me. The chairperson of the RTC, my kid was so angry that her pressure went up and it activated the TBI that she had. That's when it all started. When he started saying that I'm playing the race card. I was like, what are you talking about? Why would I make it harder on myself? It's hard being Black, Christian, Republican, and a constitutionalist. So when you're all four of those, that's not an easy way. It's not easy. Why God chose this path for me? Actually, somebody said, well, she doesn't have an experience. I got more experience than most Republicans on that line. I've been in politics since 10. I know Chuck Schumer. I know Charlie Rangel, David Dinkins, the Honorable David Dinkins, who I love, the only Black mayor of New York City. When he was the borough president, I was on his youth advisory board. When the community center had junior boards, my mother made me join. And I do want to say this. We never say thank you to the people that brought us in. And they were all Dems, but Nana Freeman, they made us sit on Tenant Patrol. Tessie Smith, even though I didn't live in her building, she made me sit on Tenant Patrol. Then they had the junior Tenant Patrol where we didn't have nothing to do. They said, you won't be destroying the building. We're going to show you what it takes to do it. We didn't want to, but they were our parents. What are we going to do? Then I was on the community center board where we made sure kids had the funding they did for the after school programs, that they had lunch and dinner for the kids that were less fortunate. And no, it's not all taxpayers' money. It's actually the rent that the people pay. Housing gets $2 to $3 per apartment. So that's how those things was paid. And so when they had dance class, I was like, look, Black people don't need to learn how to dance. We need to know where the money comes from, where the moolah coming from. And they was like, listen, you young, you 10, go play. I was like, I don't want to play. I don't want to dance. How was this funded? So I started in politics. When Vito Lopez and Victor Robles came to our neighborhood, I would go to the meetings. I'd be the only little girl there, raising my hand, asking questions. You want thieves to put in windows and all these apartments? Are you going to check their pockets when they leave? Because they are in jail, because they are thieves. He didn't want to answer me. So then Victor Robles started talking and said, oh, so cute. And all the ladies dropped their head and chuckled. I said, could you tell that rude man answer me? Because it's not nice to ignore little children. So I've been in politics since 10 and a half years old. I worked on campaigns for a long time. I did lit jobs, collect signatures. So I'm not new to this. I just was running. I didn't like it. I didn't like what they were doing, and I knew that I would have to tell the truth. So then I became a pastor. I've been in ministry since 9.5 years old. I was a neighborhood blockhead where you knock on doors on the block. And then as you got older, because I lived in a building with 13 floors, 15 families per floor, I was in charge of that building. And then I got half a project, and then we worked on that. We, just like the Jehovah's Witness, would knock on doors and bring the kids to go to church. The church I'm from has 200,000 children. So I'm accustomed to knocking on doors. And that's how I was able for the mayor's race to knock on 11,300 doors and send out 750 mailers. So I was already taught this through Christ. So this was some like a piece of cake. He said, "You running, but I'm going to box you in." And the moment they disrespected the family and the housing complex, the Mills, God said, "You go tell them, I said, if they mess with my children, I'll turn this into a ghost town." I said, "You want me to do what?" And then I told him. And then to confirm it, the lady walked up to me named Wanda Israela, because my name is Israela Ernestine. I'm a Hebrew Pentecostal. And they was like, I was like, "What do you want?" "Why does this look like a ghost town?" I said, "Because they're messing with God's children. And this is like an Egypt situation." So I've grown to love you guys. You know, when they be messing with you, I'll be like, not gonna happen. When they with no vax, I they doing what? No, ain't nobody said that. Like, defund the police. I asked the police chief because he Latin. I said, daggone well, ain't no blacks, Latinos, and Italians said they want social workers coming to their house. Really? We don't like social workers. We don't like nosy people, period. And all he could do was start laughing. He looked at me and bust out laughing. He said, "You're right." I said, "So it ain't our idea. So where did this come?" And then I was pissed off because guess what? What they don't tell you in politics is both parties are right. There's a lot of candidates where cars are sitting in front of their doors in the morning or in the afternoon. There's candidates with the unions, like they tried to beat me up with tolls and scare me. They said that was a scare tactic to get me not to run. All they did was piss me off and made me run because I said I wasn't going to run. So it had the reverse effect. You got Republicans and Democrats going to people's house threatening their families. So these are the things that they don't talk about. I get phone calls where people tell me, "I'm coming to your house." I go, "If you come to my house, you ain't getting out. I'm pro 2A. You come to my house, you ain't leaving." And then I had people following me. And then the phone calls, and I've gotten up in the middle of the night, 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and my doors are wide open.
Wow.
So these are the things they're not talking about. And then we're not even going to talk about my running with Black Lives Matter. Ooh. I can't stand those people. In Willimantic, if it wasn't for 3 patriots in Willimantic, I wouldn't have made it out. No exaggeration.
I saw that video that you had posted after that. Gosh, like that.
But that is not my first run-in with them. I ran in them the first time at the Capitol twice.
Yeah.
And then you was there one day when the young boy told me to get the F out of the Capitol, and I had to put my hands behind my back because he was about 20 and I wanted to pop him in the mouth. And I told him, "You don't get to tell me where to go. I pay taxes for this pretty piece right here. And we got just as much as right as you do." And then Linda from Voters Fraud had her thing and they wouldn't even move. So when are we going to stand up as Americans? Forget the party, because ain't but one party, God's party. So when are we going to come together on all the issues? Because they managed to divide us. Vax, Pro 2A, the other Vax group, the school group. There's so many things. There shouldn't be that. If we stand for the pledge, one nation, so why are we so divided? So the Democrats and the elites are already winning because we're so divided. I tell people, you won't gotta like me. Don't invite me to dinner. I'm fat enough. I ate enough food already. However, respect me, because guess what? Because if you come to me, even if I don't like you, and you tell me your kids are in trouble, and it's a school, I'm gonna show up. Because guess what? Kids don't have anything to do with adult business. What happened to principles before personalities? I don't care you don't like me. Don't send me no Christmas cards because I don't celebrate Christmas. I believe in the Messiah. I don't celebrate Christmas. They said, "Well, you feed people." This was the joke. You feed people because it's Christmas. And one of the Jehovah's Witnesses said, "Y'all do know Reverend Holloway don't celebrate Christmas, right?" What? I said, "Yeah, she believed in Christ, but not Christmas. And I feed them on Easter." "Oh, She feed him on Easter. I said, somebody better tell me what a bunny rabbit got to do with the Messiah. I'll save you. Because ain't no bunny in that story. And that's the goddess of fertility. So what are we really worshiping? What happened to the wholesome, I believe in God, I'm going to pray for directions. And that's what I did. And I'm not going to tell you it's easy because I cried many days. Mm-hmm. When they wanted to sanction me, I cried. But they didn't talk about all the things they did to me. And trust me, I'm the only Black woman in that RTC.
I bet you are. I love it. I love it. So when they're sanctioning you, just explain that to me a little bit and the audience too. What does that mean?
They tried to make me resign. They said, we sanction her. We want her to resign. I said, I'm not resigning because I'm actually an elected official. They voted me in. So then what they can do is say, well, we won't endorse her for 2 years to run on the Republican line. Guess what? You don't endorse me now. The 4 times I did run, you didn't endorse me. So what's the purpose? And then it got really crazy because one of them worked from Frontier. And what they did was, y'all don't know I'm a twin. And so they took his middle initial and put it on my name and told everybody that I was arrested. That's mail fraud. Then they said I was stealing. When I went knocking on doors, the people began to tell me. Says, well, they said you stole from a charity. I said, which one? Serenity House? She said, yeah. I said, do you know Serenity House is up and running because of 3 ladies? The money comes out of our pockets. So why would I steal from myself? The government don't give us grants. I don't take government money because I don't want the government telling me what to do. And then Villano said that he donated to our charity. He donate crap. You know who donated? Frontier donated 1 generator. And his ex-wife, which is the best part of him, donated her time and her car she donated. He donated Jack Diddley squat. And if they keep messing with me, I'm going to name the other 9. Because guess what? One of them works for, 3 of them are in office. And one of them ran. And what they said was, I'm not the typical Republican. I don't fit the Republican mold. I said, neither do you, because if you've seen the old Republicans and how they used to speak and their language, you needed thesaurus, a dictionary, and a syllabus and all kind of stuff to understand what they were saying. So none of us would qualify. And guess what? Them conservatives were fighters. The Republicans of old, Hiram and all of them that came out of slavery into the Republican Party, he debated out of slavery. He debated the vice president. I seen some of that stuff. It gave me a headache after the first sentence, and I was like, I'm done. So I'm for the people. I love the people. I'm going to fight for you, and I'm going to make you laugh with this. I'm going to make everybody laugh. Eric Masciani is running in the 96th district. He's running against Roland Lamar. Roland Lamar is typical an African-American name. So the people were voting for him. The African-Americans and the Latinos were voting for him because they thought he was Black. Until I said to somebody, show his picture. And they was like, he not Black. I can't make this up. They was like, he not Black? I was like, nope. And he don't live in your neighborhood. Eric Masciani's father and all of them owned the store and everything in the neighborhood. So you might want to get with him. They was like, Ernestine. I was like, what? Pastor. I was like, what? He's like, he not Black? I was like, no, honey. So they were voting for him just because he was a Democrat. They didn't know what he looked like. They never seen him. And this is what I tell Republicans. If you go door to door a year before your election and get to know the people, they'll vote for you because guess what? They probably never seen the Democrat that's running. So I started laughing. So what I do on my spare time is I go and I support the Blue. I go to most of their rallies. Now, are they all bad? No. Are they all good? No. You got 80% good police, and you got the 20% that's a bad apple. And the bad apples are getting to play.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will blacks and police officers get along? They can. But we have to go back to the beginning, because remember, the police officers were slave patrols first. Then they became police officers. Nobody broke that cycle. Nobody wants to do the homework of the history. Oh, that can't be happening to black people. Well, let's see. I ran for state rep. 2 state troopers pulled us over. They said I was trying to break in.
What?
And they intimidated our team not once, twice. So you mean to tell me I brought it over? And I told him that the Constitution says you can't do this. Then I said, not only the Constitution, the Supreme Court said that I could leave my literature anywhere. But it didn't stop them from harassing us. So we have a moral problem. It's not a racial problem. It's a moral problem. Because if you had morals and value, you wouldn't be harassing people. You wouldn't be bullying people. You know, look at these people. They yell at you if you don't got a mask. They yell at you if you do. Look at the governor, what he said when he get vaccinations. He's going to hope that the black churches work with him because he's going to start there. What? If that's not racist, then what is?
Wow.
And so African Americans play a part in this because they keep voting for that nice man. I told the Lord I'd say nice things.
God bless you, because I'm having a hard time with this.
Right. So we can attack his character and not him. We can his response to our issues. So you want to poison all the black people? Are you trying to wipe us out? And then what did he say? 40 acres and a mule, the PPE, the protection for the people of their small businesses. He likened it to 40 acres and a mule. First of all, they never got the mule and they never got the 40 acres. And then I talked to a couple of pastors this week. You know the percentage of churches, African American churches, that didn't get that money? It's like 5%, if that much.
Not surprising.
And what he said was, I can speak for the Church of God in Christ, and it's 28,000 churches in America. And they was like, no, we didn't get it. When you talk to the Baptists, they say the same thing. So then what is it that the Democratic Party has that we keep voting for them? Not we, because I ain't vote for them. But what is it? Because they go door to door. They get to see the person. It's tangible. You know, it's funny, like you said to me, somebody said, I came up to them and said hello and started speaking to them. I don't know where this was. Or Twitter.
On Twitter. He was talking about you. He said Ernestine Holloway's got my vote. She walked all the way down my driveway. He was impressed, and she's a nice lady, and she came in, talked to me, and he, you know, that's a good thing. You know, you got to connect with the people you represent.
And I go to the supermarket. I tell them I put my pants on one leg at a time. I put my dress on like everybody else, one sleeve at a time. You know, am I perfect? No. Follow me home and look at this house and open the door. You'd be like, oh, she ain't perfect. But I'm willing to give what I got. And I'm going to stand on some principles. And this is an interesting conversation, somebody said. Matter of fact, me and Rojas got into it over this. And I encourage people, if I get back on and I can find my stuff, to look at there was a meeting where they were talking about schools and everybody joining this group, and the name will come to me, where they couldn't get 169 towns to join them, COG, Council of Government, which is not an elective office, but they're the ones that is actually running your schools. COG. So I don't think it's fair that the inner city is cheated because it's not the same amount of money. But you want to blame the inner city, but guess what? We're not in charge of the money. We got teachers pretty good, but guess what? The kids in Maryland can't read past the 5th grade. So we wouldn't put somebody in office, but they couldn't even raise the reading level. I don't know. And they mistreat special ed students. I know because my daughter, because of the brain injury, I got to counteract with them. And they didn't treat her well until I told them that's just not happen. I said, I'll sue everybody. So what I want to tell you is, am I perfect? No. Will I work for you? Yes. And getting back to COG, I said to him, if you got 70 kids and somebody say, I want marshmallows and some want pretzels, and the people that want pretzels don't want marshmallows, aren't you going to ask them why? Could be they're allergic to marshmallows, they don't eat pork, they don't eat gelatin. He said, no, it's my right to decide what's right for them. I said, but what if the town, that's what he said. You get the tape, I'm saying it word. He said, I get to decide. I said, but what if the people don't want it? He said, they get what I think is best. I said, well, your butt need to be out of office. And then the people that work for the governor, I can't think of his name. That's why we got to find, if you ask Ray Beavis, he sent it to me. He sent the video. And what I said to them were, well, what happens when the towns don't want to go along? What he said was, you got to listen early in the beginning. He said, we got ways. We'll hold their money. We'll hold their grant. And I'm going to tell you something about
now, who is this again that said this?
Governor Lamont's people. Oh. It was in a meeting. Matter of fact, ask Ann Meninsky, because she drugged me to that meeting because I didn't want to go. And then it began to click. Bridgeport is underfunded. You know, Bridgeport has the largest inner city school district. They have more kids than anybody. So I couldn't figure out why Joe Gannon went to jail. They said he was stealing. I said, so is everybody else. Why him? Well, Joe Gannon is a teacher. He teaches at a college. He goes there and he does all these things, right? You know why he got in trouble? Because he wouldn't sign up for COG. Here's the deal. COG couldn't get other municipalities to sign up because they said Bridgeport was going to get the bulk of the money. Well, they need the money. They have the bulk of the kids. So they cut the money, and so they became underfunded. They were already underfunded. So when Gannon went to jail, Fish, who came after him, signed him up for COG. And that's how they went into conservatorship.
Wow. Wow. It's so convoluted and screwed up the way they operate. And then COG, it's a perfect name too. It's like, what are you, a cog in the system? You know?
Right. And so these are the things that people don't know. And another thing, I don't mind calling out the governor. I think the governor is a murderer, and I think that he should be tried for treason along with Governor Cuomo. And see, what people don't know is New Jersey, New York City, Pennsylvania, and I think it's Delaware, I'm not sure. They are, and Puerto Rico, they all are in a circle. Just like when you want to bring all the schools together.
Yeah.
They want to, and those things are together. And the reason why Cuomo has so much say so, because he has the bulk of the people. Mm-hmm. So because New York City is so big, and somebody said, well, why is Puerto Rico in there? Because the bulk of the Puerto Rican people are in New York City.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's why this is what's happening. This is why he said that. So I said in the beginning he was a murderer and everybody should have stood up because they didn't have the money. So what did they do? Remember, the older people weren't dying. They were living in 90 and 100. You see on TV, 110, 114. The young people are dying, and God is blessing them with long life because he said, if you honor your parents, this is what happened. And they probably did. And so guess what? They were living longer. So what did they do with the sick patients? Now, New York City have hospitals that are empty. Connecticut got nursing homes that are empty. The National Guards could have came in 3 days like they did the Jacob Javits Center. They have them. They could fix them. The Army could have came in and fixed them. Because remember, FEMA was activated. So we had all those people with all the skills. So what did they do? They sent them to the nursing home. And they already had a compromised immune system, so they killed them.
Yep.
So, but here's the problem with the people. I asked them, why would you put your parents in nursing homes any damn way? They took care of you, so in return, you put them in a nursing home. Now, there are some with dementia that you can't control. I understand that. That's understandable. But because you don't want to take care of your parents because they're older, you slap them in the nursing home. Italians, blacks, and Latinos never used to do that. So all of a sudden now we putting our old folks in homes, and guess what? Now they're lonely. You can't get them out, and they're dying.
Can people even visit in a nursing home right now?
No, you can't. No, you can't. When my daughter goes to the hospital, the only reason why I'm able to go is because I'm the one who signed the paperwork.
Yeah.
And I'm not okaying nothing if I don't know what it is, because she has short-term memory loss sometimes. So they killed all those people. And what did we do? Nothing. A couple of us was out there, but what happened to the majority, not the minority? And I'm not talking about a race. What happened to the majority of the people standing up for them? They fought for us. We got some of the rights we have because of them. So how come we could not return the favor? So we're just this poor excuse.
So we got a comment over here. I just want to share this with you. So Alex says that his cousin, Hartford Hospital supervisors, told their employees to bring the old folks to Connecticut Convention Center and leave them there to die.
Yes. That's bad. What they did. They killed our seniors. And the reason why I feel for them, because guess what? If it wasn't for those seniors when they were younger, I couldn't be who I am.
Yeah.
Miss Green, Miss Virginia Green, Miss Jackie Green, Miss Lawrence, Nana Freeman, Miss Phillips, Miss Banks, Tessie Smith, the parking lot crew, because I can't name all of them. They made sure that I learned. And when I got 30 years in recovery, I'm 52. So that means I was drinking at a young age. I started drinking at 13, 14 years old. I couldn't deal with the fact that I was raped and I didn't have that good a relationship with my parents, and I didn't have anybody. So I was adopted and I was in foster care where the father of the lady who had me was trying to go with me. I didn't have a way out. So those people stood up for me. The reason why I also had a problem with the Republican Party not handling that young lady that was getting beat, because I was a victim of domestic violence. I didn't have a place to go, so I went and stayed in a guy's house, and I was still a virgin, and he raped me and beat me every day. So that brought back flashbacks for me. And the Republican Party can't say they didn't know, because you know why? I had a meeting with J.R. Romano, and I told him. Wow. God sent me to warn him 2 weeks before the primary, so they had time to pull him out, and they did.
And the truth always comes up. At the end of the day, you could try to hide. You may think you got away with it.
Nah,
but there it goes.
God said otherwise.
Bam.
And then I was talking to somebody, and they said, "What's the matter, Ernestine?" I said, "This is not going to be good." They said, "What do you mean it's not going to be good?" I said, "It's not going to be good." And I said, he said, "What's going to haunt us?" I said, "Oh, something getting ready to hit the fan." And 2 days later, he called me back and said, "You couldn't tell me it was this." I said, "Well, God don't tell me everything. He just tells me something going to happen." And that's what happened. So they had ample time to take him out. The reason why they didn't, because they didn't like Justin Anderson, and I happen to love him because he served our country, him and his wife. So who better than to fight for us in that district than him? Someone who fought for the country, who loves the country, that's going to stand up for us, that's going to stand up for the people in Connecticut. So what they were doing was they were trying to look for somebody to fill that spot if he won. So they was backstabbing. And so I was like,
oh my God.
And you know what's funny? If you ask him, I spoke to him at CCDL. He came with his presentation. I put all my stuff away, and I helped him raise money. I didn't even know him, but I told him how the party was. So when they did him dirty, I called him up and I started laughing. He said, "You tried to tell me." I said, "I told you, ain't nobody your friend." I said, "Don't even believe me." Because you know what? You have to vent the person. Everybody say God said don't judge. That's not what he said. What he said was judge righteously. You judge the way that you want to be judged. Become fruit inspectors if you're not comfortable with that word. Vent them to see if they're going to represent your community. Well, what they said was, I say things like ain't. I flip over my words. I don't spell too good. I said, well, I have dyslexia and something else that I can't pronounce. And it came from me being in 2 car accidents. So you mean to tell me I can't hire a secretary or somebody to write down what I want?
Well, they do. I would love to. I would love to, go and scrutinize a lot of the people in the club, and some leaders
And
that
see,
are
I'm not gonna
subpar.
be part of the club because I'm scared of God.
Yeah.
When I die and meet my maker, I may get in trouble for my stuff, but guess what? I'm not getting in trouble for yours because I'm gonna tell you the truth.
And that's what something what we need in Connecticut is people who are going to fight and tell the truth and are going to work and be passionate. It to me it's like they're what the heck is going on? I'm upset with the RTC in my own community too. I don't mesh.
Oh, girl, I know about the one in your community. I know about the one down in Norwalk. I know about because I go to visit all of them.
I love
When
you. That's so great.
Tony and all of them ran for office, I was in places. I was in Simsbury. I was like, I don't even know where the heck Simsbury is at. I was in so many debates. Matter of fact, we joked about my hair because I wear a lot of wigs, and this is my hair with some weave on it, and they was laughing because the guy had a collage of all the pictures of me. He said, "That's not the same dress." I said, "No, I got about 8 different royal blue dresses and about 6, 7 red dresses." He said, "Why do you wear that?" I said, "One, they represent the Lord. 2, you'll know who I am."
Mm-hmm.
Funny story, when I met Johnny Flynn, who's running for office also, I walked into a meeting, and I think Antonio, one of them was, I came to see their debate. And he spun me around and gave me a kiss on the cheek and pulled up a seat, and everybody turned around and looked, and I just shook my head. And afterwards, they went to Paige because he ran. I said, "Paige, who is that?" He said, "Ernestine." I said, "Reverend Holloway." She told us she was coming, but wow, she came pretty far. And so I stood for all their debates. I wanted them to know that they weren't by themselves. When I went to Andrew up in New London, up there was running. I went and knocked on doors with him so he can raise money. I was like, "Look, just get 5. He needs $5." And the people was giving him the money, and we started laughing. He was like, "How do you do it?" I said, "Stop BSing and start asking." And then I went to see, oh my gosh, what is his name? I call him my big brother, and I went down to see, his name is Mark. I went down to see his debate and support him. And he gave me a hug and his kiss, and his wife said, "Who is that?" He said, "Ernestine, don't you see the dress and the hair?" So I wanted to support them. I was in New Haven supporting them. They had dinners with Eric Mastriani and all of them. I went to support them. And that's something we don't do as Republicans. We don't support each other. We beat up each other. See, the Dems beat up each other, but guess what? They know how to line up. We don't know how to do that yet.
Yeah.
And so here's the problem. They're mad at the Dems and the liberals and BLM saying they're muffling free speech. But guess what? That's what you want to do to me. What they said in their complaint was, I talk about them in social media. They were talking about you and Lee Elsie, because y'all the only 2 shows I did. And so are you trying to tell me that I can't speak? I can't say what's wrong? They saying I'm damaging the party? No, I'm damaging the RTC because y'all don't do nothing.
Hey, you know something? I got to make a beef about my own RTC, and I'm probably going to get in hot water for this, but I can't acclimate to it. And if I do run, I'm going to run on the libertarian ticket. I don't think I could deal with them. I give you a lot of credit because sometimes with these old, like, what's the word for it? It's like they're the clique, they're the clique.
It's not, and you know what? It's not the old Republicans.
No. And so the one thing I got upset with my town is they didn't run anyone against the first selectman. I come into the RTC. I'm new. I come into the party. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's do this. And nobody is running against the first selectman. She just is handed the seat. I'm like, how is it? And this is also happening in certain elections. Like, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but Senator Anwar, who sits on the Public Health Committee, is running unopposed. So is Matt Ritter. Matt Ritter is running unopposed in Hartford. How is Hartford electing Matt Ritter? Does that even make sense? Nope. How does Hartford elect Matt Ritter? I don't get it. That makes no sense to me. It's corruption. I mean, he's a Democrat, so but what are the Republicans doing with these seats that nobody's running? And you mean to tell me all the people in Connecticut who are good, fine citizens, and you can't find good candidates to run against the Democrats that are just going to be given these seats? I mean, there's quite a few places. There's another one, East Hartford. The guy in East Hartford, and I forget the rep's name. It escapes me right now. But the representative of East Hartford is. How can you not run a candidate? How can you not run a candidate? What is wrong?
Well, the Republican theories are, if you run a candidate against somebody that can't win, they don't want them to get that money.
That is so corrupt.
But if you don't run a candidate, they only get something like $2,000-$3,000. But if you do get a candidate, they get something like $25,000-$30,000. So if they don't run anybody, that means there's not enough money for the Democrat or whoever the candidate is to go door to door and talk against the person that's running. They say it's a strategy.
I'm something. That is the worst and the most stupid strategy, and it makes my blood boil because, like, here in my own town, I'm not too happy with the way things. Like, I don't think you should be giving a big developer a tax. It's just you don't give a big developer a tax break because they're going to bring taxes in.
I'm gonna tell you what my town did. They knocked down a development. They, I'm laughing. They knocked down the housing complex. Somebody wanted to buy $30 million. They wouldn't sell it to them. They went out and they got this company that's across from Detroit, Potomac. I said, I was sleeping in the meeting because that's how boring it was. I woke up and I said, Potomac, the one that sat across from Detroit and watched them go bankrupt? And we hiring them?
Yeah.
Guess what? Then we paid somebody to demolish it. Then they didn't realize that the oil tankers and everything was in the ground. So we paid them an extra $1 million.
Unbelievable.
I only thing that's what I can say is that's what they did.
Well, I really appreciate all the work that you've done and that you're still fighting this fight and you're still there. You're still there because you did the work and you're still there. There's nothing they can do about it because you got the signatures. So you're on the ballot, correct? It's still
yes.
on the end.
But here's what's funny now. I was on the ballot for the independent party way before the primary. Because I went to them early and I asked. So that's why they were pissed. So before COVID came in, they had a chance to let me in because I went asked.
That is so funny. So, what an interesting election. I wish you the absolute best on that. So you were kicked off of your Facebook page, right, in the middle of all this. It's a very important time where you need to be able to utilize social media, and they kicked you off of Facebook. That is, that's really fishy.
I can't hear from anybody. So you're going to have to, if anybody wants to volunteer and help me, you're going to have to be my point of contact because I don't know when they're going to let me open up my my Facebook again, and I'm not willing to lose those people because on my personal page, I have 3,400 and something people.
Yeah.
On the political page is another 4,000 people, and then the church's page has a because Serenity House Elkanah Ministries have its own ministry. They're not all one and the same. I don't mix the two. I don't mix them. They're all different. So when they would say, "Oh, make you laugh," that she kicked us as a political person, I can't kick anybody off the political page. You can't. But my personal page, I can.
Yeah.
So a lot of people from the Republican Party, not the Republican Party, um, they're married in RTC, I blocked off my page, so they're pissed off. But it's my personal page. You want to get on the political page and say whatever you want to say, free speech, go ahead and say it, but not on my page.
Yeah.
On my page, there's a dictatorship, and there's only one dictator, and it happened to be me.
Yeah, and you're allowed to do that. That's what the whole process is. Like recently, there was a screenshot of a legislator on their personal page, and it wasn't used. There was discussion about using the screenshot of the legislator on their personal page. It's a legislator that he's not running again. But I'm like, you can't use that because that's their personal page, and if it's not a public page, if you have to be their friend and then you have a screenshot, that's not ethical. So you have the right to have your personal page and take people off, but on your public page, the page for you as a representative or a candidate for representative, that's a different story.
Right, because there's things that I say on my personal page that I wouldn't say on the. Yes, I would. I ain't gonna tell a lie. Yes, I would. So I would say.
You can't even access any of the pages that you have. We're so close to election time. You're still on the ballot, whether the RTC is trying, sanctioning you and giving you a hard time.
They should stop pissing me off because I may start a party and collect signatures and run for governor.
There you go. I would support that 100%.
Don't make me start a party called the Republicans of Color. They said, what does that mean?
Oh my God, you should do it. Do it.
All races can join. They was like, what do you mean? White people can't join? I said, it's a color, isn't it? It's like, yeah. I said, it's in that crayon box, right? He was like, yeah. I said, well, then you can join.
Oh, you got to do it. It would be. I think right now, where I'm at is, and in our history, we've had this happen because we had the Whig Party. And we've had, these different.
No, there's a party that, oh my gosh, I wanted to talk about in North Carolina somewhere. The Populist Party.
The Populist Party. Nice.
Oh yeah, they were influenced. Them and the Republicans teamed up and beat the Dems, and then the Dems got mad and put some racist stuff in the newspaper, and they killed a lot in Wilmington, Delaware. Wow. They killed a lot of those people.
Wow.
So I would like to bring back the Populist Party.
Yeah, I think
I would like to dig back into history. See, I'm a Republican not because these new Republicans. I'm a Republican because my ancestors came through this party.
Yeah.
Before we were Dems, we were Republicans. So it's the Republicans' fault because they didn't go after them. They let the Dems come and sweet talk them and say, nah, we good. No. I love you guys. I mean, I love the people of Connecticut. But one day God is going to say, this part of your journey is over. I want to get married. I want to have some kids. I want to have one more. I want to have a boy. I got a bunch of girls. No more of those. Then they called me racist. And then I laughed. I said, well, the guy I'm seeing is white, so I can't be racist.
They called you a racist, too. But I appreciate you so much.
They called me a bed wench. And those of you that don't know what bed wench is, that is the woman who took care of the slaves, that took care of the master's kids and did the cook. That's why you can't call people Aunt Jemima, because that'll start a fight. Aunt Jemima is actually a slave terminology. You couldn't say Miss, and you couldn't give her that title, so they called them Aunt Jemimas. And the reason why she had on a scarf was because they didn't like our hair. They called it was kinky and nappy. And so we had to cover our head. So I tell people, when you call names, you better know what the hell you're saying. I was on a page, and one of the mics got mad at me. It don't mean that. I said, how you going to tell me what it mean in my culture? How you going to tell me about slavery? You was part of it? And we better see Camilla. Camilla, we got to get on Camilla. She's funny. How's she going to say, I want reparations, and her family owns slaves? Can't make this stuff up. So I want to know, is Camilla Harris going to give the slave that she owned, their ancestors, their 48 acres and a mule? That's something y'all better be asking her. Because isn't what's good for the goose is good for the gander?
Yes.
And Joe Biden, I'm so glad that he out of his basement.
Yeah. That's a shock.
And I'm getting Joe Biden. Joe Biden. This is Ernestine talking to you. Listen here. I'm woke. I'm black. And I'm still not gonna vote for you.
There you
And I'm
go.
gonna tell my kids not to vote for you. And their kids and their friends. The NAACP, I tell people when the governor said some of the things that he said, and the NAACP said, well, we'll review the footage. Me and Gwen did something in front of his house about the 40 acres and the mule. And everybody was like, well, NAACP will view the footage. I said, well, I viewed the footage. And no, hell no, he's not getting a pass. And neither is Joanna Hayes. Neither is any of these people, Lamar. And then the Black and Latino caucus, and I'm rolling my eyes because I can't make this up, said we'll sit down and have a talk with him. Well, what the heck conversation do you need to have? If he the damn governor and he don't know, they're saying what he said, liking it to 40 acres and a mule, you should be pissed off with that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not only taking the African American vote for granted, you killed our grandparents, you killed our elderly. Now you want to kill us again in the church and talking about I'm going to black churches and I hope they cooperate when we come to giving vaccines. Is this a Tuskegee? Is this a Tuskegee thing all over again? But I'm gonna tell you what they're saying in Brooklyn, New York, that they've been testing them with that vaccine a long time. And rumor is, according to the young man who went to my mother's house looking for me, said, "Oh, mother, if you get sick, don't take the shot because it's a vaccine." So they've been doing this for a long time. That's why the people are dying.
Yeah, it is. It's really ugly. There, and I'm gonna say this. This is my opinion. I think that Lamont, he's a eugenicist. He's in that eugenics club. He hangs out with eugenicists, and they, just the language that he comes up with, and he thinks it's okay. And
yeah, but we should go after all of them for nepotism.
Yeah.
Now here's what's crazy. I paid my daughter $1,000 for the work that she did from January to July, but he can hire his wife.
I know.
To work in an office. How is that?
You know something? She is making so much money. They are making so much money with her.
Wait a minute. If I did nepotism, you find me.
But it's okay for the governor.
Doing the same thing, and nobody is saying nothing.
Yeah, how does that work?
It's just like I told the Republicans. So you're gonna sanction me for what 82 with me other Republicans are doing, running on the independent line? How does that work? Would you like to go to court? Because I damn sure will take you there. You're violating my civil rights. And civil rights, hello people, I want y'all all to listen. Civil rights is not about a color.
No. Just
because I'm black, and I'm not going to change colors. Even if I scrub this sucker, even if I bleach it, I'm still going to be a black woman. Didn't work for Michael Jackson, it ain't going to work for me. I know, I'm getting in trouble. But what I'm saying is civil rights is a violation of your constitutional rights. So I done hired some lawyers. I'm speaking to everybody because you're not going to do this to me and think it's okay.
Yeah. Well,
we got to fight.
You got to fight. We got to fight. And I appreciate, they're picking on the wrong person. I mean, I guess the right person because you're going to fight him back. And I want to see you win. I want to see you win so bad.
But I need to win. I need all of y'all. And I'm talking about in all the groups. What I find interesting is y'all all want me, and I say y'all, want me to come testify. You want me at your rallies. One, I want to say thank you because they wouldn't even let me speak if it wasn't for you. And it's the truth. I'm telling the truth. All of them was like, no. And you was like, what do you mean? She's a candidate. And when nobody else come to Hartford, we can call her. She coming.
And she's going to tell it. And you're going to testify. And then you're going to have,
right.
You're going to tell them, I love when you're up there. And you tell them, I love it. I love you said that line. I'll never forget this. I go to places where you'll never go. And they just the look on their faces when we were in that hearing, how you just spoke from the soul, from your heart. And that's what we need. We need this type of passionate representation.
I'm not afraid to stand on a corner. Sometimes when I want to get to know the people, I go to the soup kitchen. I sit down and I eat with them. They go, you taking bread? Yep, because my daughter like that bagel too. And I'm cheap, so I don't want to give Panera my money, and they got good bread. But if you go to the soup kitchen, you get a whole bunch of Panera bread. So I go and I get Panera bread. They go, you go to the soup kitchen? Yeah, don't you? Where you going? I ain't got no money. I'm going over there to eat. In actuality, I go there so that I can meet the people.
Yeah.
I take the bus. I don't drive. I take the train, and I go everywhere. Then I'd be like, all right, y'all got to get me back to this train, or I'm sleeping in somebody's house in order to get home. And so I ran my candidacy. And the funny part was about it is I used a lot of Uber. So last year they had a hearing about Uber, and I showed up. Nobody knew who I was. So they said, are you for or against? I said, when I sit down and testify, you will. What they don't know is Uber is a subsidiary company of Skylark. Skylark is a subsidiary company of...
Oh. Damn.
So when they wasn't paying them their tips, and it was taking 3 to 4 months, and they was not giving them the proper mileage because they cheat them, I was like, give them people their damn money.
Yeah.
And the lady said, well, how do you know? I said, because I ran my campaign out of Uber. And everybody was stunned. He says, so how do you know? I said, because in the Ubers, I get to talk and I get to ask. I get to ask the seniors what they need, what they like. And now, can we fix it all in 1 year? No. But guess what? It's a start. How do we make decisions without seniors? How do we make decisions without the youth? You know, what happened to the youth advisory boards? We should be training the young people so when people like me and you finish, there's somebody to fill the footsteps. Yeah. To fill them because they already know what they're doing. That's how I knew politics. They invited me in reluctantly. and they taught me. They taught me. I became on this is gonna make you laugh. They asked me to run for vice president. I told them no, I wanted to be sergeant at arms. They was like, why? I said, I just want to be on the board. I said, so when you all cut up, because you know damn well y'all gonna cut up in this meeting, because that's what y'all do. I'm gonna stand up and start singing the Lord's Prayer and say the meeting is closed. They started laughing. They was like, what? But actuality, the sergeant of arms was able to fill in everybody's slot when they couldn't go. So I learned that. And Lemuel Thompson was the president. And we went up against some people, me and him. And I'll never forget, the kids wanted a party outside. And one girl named Gloria, she wanted the politicians to eat. I said, so then you tell your mother and everybody to cook some food, because Bushwick Day is for the kids. They had rice, they had cotton candy, they had all kind of stuff. The kids, the adults now go, did you have to fight them for that? I was like, yes. And I'll never forget what Miss Dot said. She called me Christine. She said, Christine, come here. Because they never get it right. You just know they're talking to you. And she said, did you? I said, I only did what y'all did. What I seen y'all doing to me. And then when I explained it to them, and then I showed them where I got it from, she laughed. She said, we did do that, didn't we? I said, mm-hmm. And see, I've seen my community put faith in people, in Democrats. And they've been indicted 3 times. And each time they got indicted, I told them they was going to get indicted. They didn't believe me. They said, Eveline, don't know what you talk about. Then when they got indicted, they was like, one girl came to me named Sandra, and she said, Ernestine, I said, what? She said, they said you're crazy. I said, yeah, you got to be crazy if you want to be in politics. And then she said, but I want to say thank you. Because had I not listened to you, I'd have been in jail like the rest of them. Mm. So I've seen this. A lot of townspeople are going to go to jail. When the feds come in and realize that Bryersfield money, that Brownsfield money that everybody's taking and spending and lying, like in our town, we bought the Record Journal building. Who the hell buys an inkwell that's poisoned for 100 years? And then we clean it up saying that we don't know where they at and they up the block. And then Mid-State Hospital, we got all this money from the government, Bridesville money. And what we should have did was went after Mid-State and told them to clean the asbestos and everything up, because you can only take that money. Say if you own property here and you say to me, I'm the mayor and I can't find, then we can apply for the grant. But if I know you up the block, because the Record Journal's up the block and Mid-State is behind me, they're responsible for the cleanup. But no, our person in our town went and filed for the grant. And I'll never forget, because City Councilman Lenny Rich stood up on the public side and said, the rev is correct. We cannot take this money. And they took the damn money anyway.
Wow.
6 months later, I was walking in Hartford. One of the guys from the Fed said to me, hi. I said, who are you? I never seen you before. And guess what he said? Didn't you tell them not to take the money? I said, yes. He said, did they listen? I said, no.
Oh,
He said, when we get finished Hartford and New Haven with Tony Hart and all of them, he said, we're going to get around to Meriden. And I busted out laughing, because it was like, it's so much corruption. And you know why this corruption go on? Because you, the people, are the blame, because you won't say nothing.
Yeah.
You won't stand. And you let them fear you. And guess what? Only person I fear is Jesus Christ, because he's the only one that could destroy the soul and the body. And if you attack me, you're going with me. I love you guys. I want to win. I want to fight for y'all in Hartford. I promise it'll be entertaining.
Oh, it
when
sure
I look up
will
and go,
be. And I've got some chaos going on here with the family just coming in, so I gotta wrap it up. But let's go live again. Let's make it happen. And I support you.
If anybody wants to help and donate, you're gonna have to be my point of contact for a while.
Yes.
Because I don't know when they're gonna let me back on, and I'm actually fighting them.
Definitely.
Because they have all the information they need. So they're doing this to conservatives. They're doing this to Republicans. They're doing this to a lot of constitutionalists that want to stand up for your rights.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this. I can't do it alone. We can do it together.
Amen.
There's no I in team. It's we.
It's we.
I don't own Connecticut. We the people do. And put a bunch of people in office, and you didn't go back to check on them to make sure they were doing what the people wanted to do. This is what we got. A bunch of people that are selfish, greedy, and they're doing their own thing. But at the end of the day, it started with a vote. And if you vote these same people in, insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. So this is insane. So guess what? If you want new people in, stop playing party politics, invent the candidate. Vote the best candidate that's going to represent you, your community, your constituents, your neighborhood, that's going to fix your schools. That's how the guy in Florida won against the black guy. Everybody was like, he can't win. He went 2 years door to door. Because guess what poor people want? They want good schools for their kids so they don't be poor.
That's right. That's a beautiful...
How they get their money, welfare, food stamps, it's really none of your business. How they survive. But most of those people work. And by the way, if I hear somebody say they're getting free money, most of them people work for them checks. And like I said, if you're getting $300 in food stamps, it's only worth $100 and now because of inflation. We're in COVID, but they're raising the prices of the food. It's only worth $125.
It's terrible. Yeah.
So what are you really getting? They made us poor. They put us all on food stamps. Now we all even. So are we going to dig ourselves up out of this hole? Or are we going to cry like a bunch of babies? Or are we going to suck it up and stand and throw it back at them and say, not again this time? So if you like me and like what I stand for, we don't have to be friends. I don't want a lot of friends because I can't keep up with all y'all anyway. But you are my brothers and sisters in Christ. And I am my brother and my sister's keeper. I'm not going to change just a little bit because I want to get better. I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm striving towards God's perfection. And if I love you, I'm going to keep his commandments and I'm going to take care of you. The question is, will you take care of me? I'm going to honor and respect you. And I do it every time I stand up and I go to a meeting and I go to a hearing and I drag myself home 11, 12 o'clock at night because I don't drive and I'm walking because transportation ends here at 6 o'clock. I don't know what they was thinking. The bus that comes to my house, the last bus is 4:30. The other bus after that's 5:30. But I make it to these meetings and these hearings and these rallies, fight against Black Lives Matter. So now I'm not only fighting Dems, I'm fighting libertarians. Not when I said libertarians, I mean them crazy liberals. I'm fighting against them. I'm fighting against a Republican Party that says that I don't fit the mold, and I'm not fighting for them to accept me. What I'm fighting for is that you to vote for me so I can go and stand up in Hartford and represent you. And I don't care if I lived in Meriden, Rockfall, and Middlefield. If you come to me from anywhere in the state of Connecticut and say you need my help, I'm going to point you in the right direction. Because what person will give a constituent rock or poison or the wrong direction? All the people you got in office now.
Yeah.
I won't do that. I want to work for you. I work for you. I work for God. And in return, I work for you. Now, here's what I won't go along with. I'm not killing no babies. But if you come to me and you got a bunch of people, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to smile. I'm going to let you get what y'all want. And then when it don't work, I'm going to come back and say, well, that's what y'all wanted. See, and that's what y'all got. A bunch of people you wanted. They in office and they're not doing anything for you. So guess what? Support candidates like me, Kathy Harperstein. I call her Miss K. What is her name? She's running for Senate. What is her name?
Oh, Casides. Casides.
Yes. She's
running against Duff.
Right. Mary Fay is running. Ritter is running. Southworth is running. You know, all these people. And here's what's unique about all these Republicans. They all different in personalities, but they are saying we can come together on one accord and put our differences to the side and fight for the American people. And those are the people that you want.
Amen to that, Mama. And
all right, sweetie.
We'll be live again soon. Thank you guys for hanging out.